What is going on? What is going on? This is the Gastric Life Podcast, and I'm your host, James Pugh. Pew, 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 pew. Completely did the camera angles wrong there. Brand new setup, getting used to everything, going live for the first time here on the podcast. What is going on? I hope you guys are doing good today. If you are brand new to the channel or brand new to me doing a podcast, and you're like, I didn't even know you had a podcast. Well, I mean, you ought to know. I've been like driving everybody crazy with all the posts and stuff I've been doing for the last like 4 months of just, hey, watch my podcast. Hey, watch my podcast. No one's watching it, so I'm going live here to make you watch it, to irritate you some more. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Now, listen, I had bariatric surgery back in 2022. I was 408 pounds. I now weigh 199 as of this morning. I kind of bounced between 198 and 203. But I lost 70 pounds before surgery, and I am just trying to help people get on the healthy track, talk to people about my do's and don'ts and what I had to do and what I struggle with on a daily basis because, well, at the end of the day, I am definitely still struggling in different areas because we're human after all. So if I struggle, you're going to hear about it. Now, again, this is live, so whenever I mess up, you get to see me happen live. If you're new here, if you are here, let me know where you're watching out of. I would love to give you a shout out. Love to see who it is out here. We got Kevin. It looks like Kevin Crum, Jacksonville, Florida. He's here. What's going on, Kevin? I like the scene. I appreciate it, brother. There was a notification for you going live, by the way. Okay, well, we'll have to get on Facebook and figure out why that's not there. And I appreciate you also sharing the stream. Much love, Kevin. Much love. So today, what I want to talk about is why. What is your why in life? Can you make things happen without a strong why? And does your why sometimes have to change over time? These are things I want to talk about today, and we're going to hop right into it. Before we do, quick housekeeping I have to do. Not a doctor. I don't have I'm not a physician. I have no license. I'm not a coach or license or anything like that. So anything you hear on the podcast is because I've either went through it, done it, or think it might help. Always, always, always check with your primary doctor or physician or nutritionist or anything like that before you take anything I say to the bank, because at the end of the day, I am human. So let me know in the comments, in the chat, if you have whys, like what are whys, if you have whys of certain things, of health and stuff, like what's your why on wanting to get healthy? What's your why on trying to stay healthy? Or do you even have a why? Like, I want to know, what is your why on what keeps you motivated in life, period? And your why doesn't have to just be about health. Maybe your why is about, maybe you have a why on what you do with like work, buying a house. So with all that being said, let me explain it to you guys. All right. Why or why is important? No one did anything meaningful in life without a why. I told you we're live, so we're kind of doing this off cuffs here today. No one did anything meaningful without a why in their life. Let me explain. When you got married, there was a strong why on why you wanted to get married, right? You loved the individual. You wanted to pursue her or him or it. It is 2023 after all. And well, you had a why there. Why did you get divorced? Maybe you had a strong why on getting divorced. Maybe you had a strong why on staying married even though you wanted to get a divorce because it's cheaper. There's all kind of whys in life. Why did you step out to take a job that you wanted? Because, you wanted to make more money or you wanted to be your own boss. Whys are very, very important in your everyday life and life decisions and what you do. So of course it makes it's the same exact thing when it comes to health, right? When you make a declaration on getting healthy or having surgery, you have to have a strong why there behind it. What are some whys that make you get healthier or get the surgery? So like, I wanted to give y'all some examples of like what a couple of mine were. One of them was health, right? Why do you want to get healthy? Well, my why is because, I want to get healthy. Or why do I want to get surgery? Because I wanted to get healthy. I was tired of being 400 pounds, right? Trying to get up off a couch, breathing heavily. My wife sitting there talking about, you sound like you're about to have a cardiac arrest and die on me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, she didn't say that, but she did say I would breathe super heavy. And yeah, I get it now that I've lost all the weight and I don't breathe anymore. Like, it's funny because she has to like look at me to make sure I'm actually breathing because she doesn't hear me breathing no more. So that's pretty cool. Another thing was looks. Why? Like one of a strong why for me. And if you ever heard any of my other podcasts and stuff, you actually know that was a big why for me. I wanted to look good. I was tired of looking at myself in the mirror. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. I was tired of seeing a over 400 pound guy look back at himself, big stomach, big boobies, jiggling around everywhere, right? Like driving down the road in a semi, it's dark, right? You can see your reflection pretty good off the passenger side window when you're driving, and just look over there and just see this big guy looking at it. Man, I'll be honest, I was disgusted with myself. So one of my huge whys on getting healthy was looks. And of course, it rolls into self-confidence too, right? Like they kind of play the same thing, but at the end of the day, like having a strong why on looks will give you self-confidence, because when you lose weight and you start looking better, you start getting that confidence back in yourself. You start looking in the mirror and you like what you see. See, I was one that wouldn't take selfies of myself. I was one that didn't like to take selfies of myself. I didn't really like pictures. I would pose for them and I would, put on this facade that I was okay with them, but I didn't like the way I looked. Now I see a camera, I'm like, like, hey, look up. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to take pictures now. I took 2 selfies of myself this morning in the mirror. I thought I looked good. I actually took it because I had some shirts that was bought for me from my mother-in-law for Christmas. I love them. They're Gator shirts, but they're already too big for me. My pants are too big for me. I have to go buy more clothes. You got to buy more clothes. This is a good problem to have, though, right? But the things about whys, though, is sometimes they can change or need to change. Let's look at the chat for a second here. My girlfriend is hot, so I want to lose weight so I can be hot for her. That why is strong enough for you, then I go ahead for it. This is the thing. I bring it up like someone else and getting healthy for somebody else and stuff. I'll be honest, that didn't work for me because I just didn't care at the end of the day. I didn't care about what I look like for other people, as in it didn't push me far enough to want to motivate me enough to actually want to get healthy or lose weight or look good. What motivated me was looking at myself in the mirror and seeing me. What motivated me was knowing that I had to keep buying bigger clothes. And what motivated me was knowing that I couldn't get on a roller coaster. That was one of my whys as well, right? Getting on a roller coaster. I couldn't get on a roller coaster because it was too big. And because of that, it was devastating. I didn't want to go to a theme park. Happy to report I've been to a theme park. I'm able to get on some roller coasters. But that's my point when it comes to whys. Whys can change, or sometimes whys need to change. And let me explain why. If you set a why, let's just say it's to lose 30 pounds, right? And you get to that goal of losing the 30 pounds, your why needs to change, because self-consciously and mentally speaking, you're going to have this thing where you're like, oh, I made it. I've done it. I'm good. Hallelujah. And what happens sometimes is we can start to slack off. We can start to not think as much of what we're eating or how much we're working out because we've already hit our why that we had in place. Therefore, once you hit that why or you hit that goal, I'm calling goals whys, as you can see, sometimes we just need to maybe switch directions on our why. I hit I lost 30 pounds. Now what? Now what do I do? Set another why. Set another goal. Have something to push for. I'll give you an example. I wanted to get down to 250. Like, this is the funny thing. I was going to be happy with 250 pounds. I am 200, right at 200, 199 right now. I didn't want to lose that much weight, to be honest with you, but I did. But now that I've lost all that weight and stuff, my why has changed because I now want to put muscle mass on. If I didn't have a why there to go to next from when I got to where I needed to get to, I would slowly start to back off and I would slowly start picking up habits that I had before. And to be 100% honest with you, sometimes I catch myself picking up some of those habits that I did do before. But because I have a why, because there's a strong why there, right? Muscle mass, I can rein it back in because I'm self-conscious still about my why. This is why whys are so important. Can you explain how you calculate your macros? Yeah, I'll do that near the end of the podcast, 100%. Remind me at the end of the podcast, and I'll definitely do that for you. So now, okay, so some of us, we will go backwards for years and completely let our why fall off. No matter... Hold on. I totally messed up when I typed this out. James Pugh is coming to the surface right now. Some of us, we allow our why to fall off. We allow our why to just completely disappear. And what happens is because our why wasn't strong enough, or because we hit our goal and we don't matter no more, we start to slip and we go further and further and further down until we get back to where we were. What I mean is maybe you were like a certain weight before surgery, or a certain weight that you were before you started losing weight, and now you're back up to that weight. Now you're back where you don't want to be. You're back to where you're feeling bad about yourself. You're back to where you're feeling depressed. You're back to where your anxiety is coming back to you because you're back where you were trying to get away from. The good news is, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, you've already started to fight back. It proves that you do still care. It proves that you still have some fight in that dog. You haven't completely given up on health. And that's great, because that can spark a fire, a why in you to come back and do something great. I can't force you to. I can't make you to. Can't make you do it. But what I can do is encourage you, pick you up when you fall and say, hey, you got this. See, we have two options in life. The first option is to give up, allow our dreams of getting healthy die, and just eventually die. I mean, that's just facts, right? Everybody's going to die, but I'm talking about die early because we're super unhealthy, we're super unfit, and let's be real, I was super overweight. I know this is like a whole, positive body positivity world we live in today and everything, but I care more about someone's health and longevity on living than I do care about someone's body positivity. You want to know when body positivity comes in play for me at? Wow, what happened to my camera? Hey, there you go. You're back. You coming back? What? I don't know what happened to my camera there. What body positivity means to me in 2023 is this. I have loose skin. It's not a lot, to be honest with you. There's a lot on my stomach, but I'm not showing you my stomach right now because that would be weird. That's body positivity to me, because I've put in the work and lost a lot of weight. And because of that, I have some loose skin. And I'm okay with that. A lot of us get scared and stuff when we have that, but I'm here to tell you, be proud of that and flaunt it. Why I was talking about all that, I have no idea. But the point is, if you're listening to this right now, you have a will. There is a will and a way and a desire in you to fight back. You just have to get a why. And I want to know what your why is. I want to know what your why stands for, and I want to know if that why is really strong enough. I want you to put that why to the test. I want you to say, and we'll use Kevin because he commented earlier, I'm trying to get in shape, be hot for my girlfriend. I don't know if he's playing about that or not, but we're going to use that as an example. At the end of the day, if you don't get there, what does that mean? Like internally, you got to internally think about it and say, okay, if I don't get there, what does that mean? Am I going to lose her? Am I going to be depressed about it? Am I going to, try, but she's going to love me anyways, and I'm not going to really worry about it at the end of the day because I gave it my best effort? Like, what are the pros and the cons of your why? And are those pros enough to keep you going? And are those cons enough to make you quit? They let you quit. Do you see what I'm saying here? Let me give you another example of me before we end it. And I'm going to start reading the chat and answering questions and stuff. I had a why on before having surgery that I would make sure I was mentally prepared before I had the surgery. This was super, super important for me. And my thing was, if I was not mentally prepared, I was not allowed to have the surgery. My wife stood by me on that because she wanted to make sure I was mentally prepared before I had the surgery too. See, the negative of me not achieving that why outweighed the negative of me not doing it. Like just, gaining the weight back. Because I knew if I gained the weight back and I wasn't strong before surgery, that I wouldn't get the surgery. Because my wife wasn't going to stand by me at that point. My friends weren't going to stand by me at that point. And at the end of the day, I said I wasn't going to stand with me at that point. So I knew that my why was super, super strong to keep me motivated to want to push to get to where I needed to be to have the surgery. And because of that, I'm a prime example of someone that went through the process and is doing the work and getting it done. So, is your why strong enough? If it's not, I suggest writing some whys down. Start a list. Write a bunch of whys down, write the positives and the cons, the pros and the cons, and if those pros outweigh those cons. Because if they don't, and you can live with those cons at the end of the day, then your why might not be strong enough. I'm just being real. Like 100%. We'll see if this camera looks better now. Hey, dog, we're going to stay over here for the rest of the podcast. But you have to have a strong why. I'm going to close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close out the podcast on YouTube and the platform side, and I'll answer the questions here live on the stream still. So I'm good at giving up. Yeah. I mean, we are, man. Like, it's so much easier in life to give up than it is to keep fighting, right? Especially when something bad happens. Especially, it's funny. We just me and Kevin was talking about our sermon at church this morning, how good it was. You'll step out on that ledge and you'll take that step of faith on to get healthier. You'll work out a couple times during the week. You'll count your calories like you're supposed to. You'll drink water all week. It'll be like you're doing it all. You're like, oh yeah. You haven't stepped on the scale all week because you just know. You stepped out on faith, and when you step on that scale, the heavens are going to open and that scale is going to go down. You're going to be like, yeah, that's what happens when you do it the right way. And then you do all that work and you get on the scale and it goes up a pound. You're just like, what? Are you kidding me right now? And then you give up. A lot of people do that. Even after surgery, I see a lot of people in these groups I'm a part of where they'll have this mentality on, I'm not losing weight fast enough. Or they'll have this mentality of, I'm plateaued. I'm not losing no more weight. What do I do? And it's just like, hey, trust the process. Literally, look, Look what this says. Look right there. Trust the process. I mean, I literally put it on my end screen because it's literally what you have to do in these situations. When you have something that doesn't go your way, especially when it comes to health or really anything in life, you have to trust the process. You have to have faith. And and this is a crazy thing right here. Man, this is good. Peter got out of a ship and walked on water. He began to walk and then he began to sink because some things came. Wind started blowing, right? The waves kind of come up and stuff. See, a lot of pastors and stuff, they'll preach that message and talk about how Peter didn't have no faith. He didn't have enough faith to stay above the water. See, I disagree with that. Not that it wasn't a good message. Those are some great sermons. But think about it like this. Peter has so much faith, he stepped out of the boat. How many men stood on the boat freaking out because Peter stepped out of the boat? See, Peter had plenty of faith when he jumped out of that boat. Peter had plenty of faith to walk in the water when he got out of the boat, right? Today, you had plenty of faith when you started your diet. You had plenty of faith when you started eating healthier and stuff. But what happens is a little bit of something came Peter's way. He got sidetracked by something, took his eyes off God for a second, and he began to sink. See, it wasn't Peter didn't have enough faith. It was Peter didn't have longevity faith. You know, that's good, ain't it? It's just his faith wasn't long enough. In a world of I want everything right now, in a world where I can pick up my phone and order something and it be here today, we have to have everything right now. If I don't lose 5 pounds this week, I'm giving up. If I don't lose a pound a day, I'm giving up. If I get to surgery and I lose 30 pounds, but then all of a sudden just stop, I'm giving up. And I'm just like, hey, look, can you have a little bit of longer faith in the process? Can you trust the process maybe just a little bit longer? Because when you give up, the miracle was right there. And you literally gave up right here. I mean, you were literally a day from your breakthrough on the scale. Literally a day from your breakthrough and something in your life going on. Literally a second, maybe even. You know what I mean? Like, having faith and having a strong why are the same when it comes to having longevity in those two things. Trust the process, and I promise you it will work out in the end. We went a little preachy there, didn't we? You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. What is your why? Is your why strong enough? Let me know in the comments below. Leave me a review if you're on one of the other major platforms for podcasting. And I'll see you guys next time. Pew out.